Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Have you ever wondered how to captivate your audience and make them remember your message long after your speech is over? What if I told you that you could boost audience engagement and retention of information by almost 70%? And if you are trying to convince an audience or even sell something, you can increase conversion rates by over 30%. Yes, that's the transformative power of using stories in speeches and public speaking. Today, we'll explore why storytelling is a game changer in public speaking, especially for those just starting. We'll navigate through a framework designed to weave stories seamlessly into your speeches. For those new to the channel, welcome. While other channels will charge for their expensive courses that offer this information, we offer it freely. All we ask is if you find the training today helpful and informative, smash that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you like this type of content to help you level up. As always, we have a screen summary at the end of the video. You don't even need to take notes and you can capture that screenshot at the end of the video. Now back to the training. Importance of storytelling. As we talk about the importance of storytelling, let me start with a personal story that I use frequently when discussing public speaking. I'll never forget one of my first paid public speaking engagements. It was a disaster that ironically became one of my most valuable lessons. I was supposed to give a short, informative speech at a trade show. The audience consisted of individuals I knew would be interested in what I was about to present. Yet there I stood in front of an eager audience, my heart racing like never before. I started to panic. As I began, my voice trembled and so did my hands holding the notes. Just a few sentences in, and my mind went blank. The silence that followed felt like an eternity. I stumbled through the rest, mixing up points and forgetting key parts entirely. I am supposed to be a professional, and it was the epitome of public speaking failures. But here's the twist. Sharing this story now, I realize this story is the perfect icebreaker when discussing public speaking to beginners and the topic of speech anxiety. It connects me to my audience on a human level. We've all faced fears and faltered. Telling this story of embarrassment and resilience transforms the audience, a room of strangers, into a gathering of empathetic souls, reminding us that it's okay to fail, as long as we pick ourselves up, learn from it, and keep moving forward. It encourages them to embrace our imperfections and learn from them together. And it will help them remember what I spoke about long after the speech ends. If this sounds like a concern for you, we have a great video offering tips to deal with speaking anxiety. There will be a link in the description below. Storytelling in speeches is much more than just telling fun tales. It taps into our natural love for stories to build a deeper connection between the person speaking and the audience. This connection does more than just make us feel something. It actually helps us become more involved and pay better attention. When a speaker uses storytelling effectively, it can make us remember up to 65%, 70% more of what they're talking about compared to just throwing out facts and figures. Adding personal stories or experiences that people can relate to makes any message stick better. This is super useful in business where it's easy for presentations to blur together because of too much information or technical talk. Storytelling can cut through the noise by creating moments that stick with us on a personal level, which can even lead to better results, like boosting sales by up to 30%. The real magic of storytelling lies in its ability to make complicated ideas simpler and more relatable. When a speaker wraps their message in a story, it's not just easier to understand, it's also more impactful, making sure the audience doesn't just hear the message but really feels it. This makes storytelling an essential skill for anyone trying to stand out and make a real impact, helping their message shine in a busy and often impersonal world. Identifying opportunities for storytelling. Expanding your speech with storytelling isn't just about adding color, it's about making your message resonate on a deeper level. Each part of your speech, from the start to the finish, offers a unique chance to weave in stories that can enhance understanding, connection, and retention. Let's dive into how you can spot and leverage these opportunities. Introduction. Your speech's opening is your first chance to grab the audience's attention. Here, a personal anecdote or a relatable story can set the tone and theme of your presentation. It's like opening a book to an engaging first line. You're more likely to keep reading, right? The same goes for your audience. Making a complex point. Whenever you're about to delve into technical jargon or intricate details, pause. this is a perfect spot for a story. By relating the complex idea to a real-life scenario, you simplify the concept and make it more accessible. Imagine trying to explain a scientific principle without diving into heavy terminology, but through a story that exemplifies the principle in action, highlighting a problem or challenge. Stories of challenges faced and overcome are universally compelling. When discussing a problem, sharing a story of how similar obstacles have been navigated successfully can inspire and engage your audience, making the problem feel more relatable and the solution more attainable. During transitioning between topics can sometimes feel abrupt or disjointed. Using a brief narrative to bridge these sections can smooth the flow of your presentation and keep your audience engaged. It's like using a story to lead your audience by the hand from one idea to the next, supporting data with real-world applications. Got data? Frame it with a story. If you're presenting statistics, follow up with a story that puts those numbers into a real-world context. This not only makes your data more memorable, but also helps your audience understand the practical implications. Conclusion: the end of your speech is your last chance to leave a lasting impression. A powerful story that encapsulates your main message or calls your audience to action can be the difference between a good speech and a great one. It's like ending a journey with a memorable final view that stays with you long after. Methods to incorporate storytelling. Incorporating storytelling into your speeches can really bring your message to life. Here's how you can do it effectively. Personal anecdotes. Share your own experiences. These stories are powerful because they're real and unique to you. When you tell a story about something that happened to you, it makes your speech more personal and relatable. Just make sure it ties back to your main message. Historical narratives. Use stories from the past to illustrate your points. This can be anything from a well-known event to a lesser-known story that fits your topic. Historical stories add depth to your speech and show that the ideas you're discussing have a broader context. Hypothetical scenarios. Create a what-if situation to help your audience understand the potential outcomes of a situation. This method is great for explaining complex ideas or encouraging your audience to think critically about the consequences of certain actions. Here are some practical tips for crafting compelling stories. Keep it short and sweet. Your story should be concise yet complete. Long stories might lose the audience's attention. Aim for a narrative that's easy to follow and sticks to the point. Make it relevant. Choose stories that directly support your message. Irrelevant stories, no matter how interesting, might confuse the audience and dilute your main points. Engage with emotion. Your story should evoke emotions. Whether it's joy, sadness, or surprise, emotional engagement helps your audience connect with your message on a deeper level. Be specific. Use vivid details to bring your story to life. Describing the setting, the emotions, and even the weather can help paint a vivid picture in the audience's mind. Show, don't tell. Use vivid descriptions. Instead of simply stating facts, describe scenes and emotions. Show your audience what you mean through detailed storytelling. Embody the emotions. When sharing an emotional story, let your voice, facial expressions, and body language reflect those emotions. This helps the audience feel what you're conveying. Examples of effective storytelling. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech. King's use of vivid imagery and emotional appeal in describing his dream for racial equality engaged the nation. His vision of children of different races joining hands as equals offered a powerful image of unity and hope. Abraham Lincoln's The Gettysburg Address. Lincoln's speech is memorable for how it grounded the audience in the historical significance of the moment, using the dedication of the Gettysburg battlefield to underscore the values of freedom and equality. His narrative bridged the past, present, and future, emphasizing the sacrifices made for the nation's unity. If you are enjoying the training video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to continue to get great training videos in the future. Applying these techniques. When preparing your next speech, think about a personal experience that highlights your main point. How did it feel? What was the outcome? A historical event that mirrors the challenges or achievements you're discussing. What details make this story resonate today? A hypothetical scenario that could illustrate your point. What details can you include to make it realistic and relatable? 4-step storytelling framework. So now that we've learned about what makes a good story and techniques to apply them, how do we use stories effectively? We have created a simple 4-step framework for telling stories effectively in public speaking. Using this framework enriches your speeches by integrating deeper elements that resonate with your audience. Create vivid imagery and structure your message for maximum impact. 1. Relate to your audience. Connecting with your audience through shared experiences or emotions makes your message more impactful. For example, a teacher might share a story of their first day in the classroom to connect with others, feeling new or out of place. How can you use this? Reflect on a moment when you felt a strong emotion, joy, fear, anticipation, and draft a short story around it. Consider how this emotion could tie into the theme of your speech. 2. Create a vivid setting. Detailed descriptions transport your audience, making them feel as if they're part of the story. For example, if discussing environmental conservation, paint a picture of a specific beautiful place in nature you're passionate about saving. How can you use this? Think of a place that has special meaning to you. How would you describe it to someone who has never been there? 3. Build tension and release. Stories with a clear conflict and resolution keep your audience engaged, eagerly anticipating the outcome. For example, narrate the journey of an entrepreneur who faced multiple failures before finally achieving a breakthrough. How can you use this? Identify a time when you faced a dilemma. How did you resolve it? Share this story with a friend or family member and observe their reaction. 4. Incorporate the rule of 3. The rule of 3 is a classic writing principle that suggests concepts or ideas presented in threes are more interesting, memorable, and enjoyable. For example, highlight 3 key moments that were turning points in your personal or professional life, explaining how each shaped who you are today. How can you use this? What are 3 lessons you've learned from experiences in your life? How could these be woven into a narrative to share with others? Delivery. When it comes to delivery, here are 3 key tips to keep in mind. Pacing. Your story's flow is crucial. Too fast and your audience might miss the point. Too slow and you risk losing their interest. Find a rhythm that keeps your audience engaged and allows your message to resonate. Strategic pauses. Use pauses to give your audience time to absorb important points, especially after a revealing moment or climax in your story. This technique also helps to build anticipation and keeps your listeners hooked. Body language. Enhance your storytelling with expressive body language. Use gestures to emphasize points and facial expressions to convey emotions. This non-verbal communication can make your stories more engaging and memorable. Storytelling is not just a tool but a powerful strategy to enhance your speeches and presentations. By incorporating personal experiences and lessons from iconic speeches, you can inspire, engage, and influence your audience. Remember, authenticity is key. Your stories should be true to your experiences and resonate with your overall message. Now, I invite you to share your storytelling experiences or apply these strategies in your next speaking opportunity. Let's harness the power of storytelling together. Remember, this guide is just the beginning. The real impact comes from the personal touch you add to your speeches. Happy storytelling! Here are the notes from today's video. You can pause the video here and take notes or a screenshot. If you enjoyed today's video or found it helpful, please smash that like button and consider subscribing to our channel for more great content. Please let us know in the comments if you will try using stories in your next public speaking engagement and how it goes. Thanks for watching.